When we look at the presocratics and we see the synthetic development of the concept of the soul, we note that the soul originally begins as something that is strongly associated with life. For instance, we see this in Homer. And so that natural native disposition to break the world up into living versus non-living contributes to that initial conception of the soul. There's also a slow movement towards associating mental properties and processes with the soul. And finally, we also see the soul becoming associated with properties that we find with animate versus inanimate objects out there in the world. When we look at the accretion of properties into the soul during the course of the couple of 100 years of pre-Socratic philosophy, we see that with Homer, we see the soul as a source of life in humans. Thales introduces this notion of animation or motive force when he starts to posit magnets have souls because they're capable of moving themselves. Heraclitus, Pythagoras, and Empedocles introduce a number of different properties, the idea of motor control being part of the soul, memory, perception, this distinction that plants and non-human animals have souls, that souls are the source of wisdom. As a result, by the time we get towards the end of the pre-Socratic period, we have the notion of a soul that has many of the properties that the contemporary notion of the mind has. But it also has other properties that aren't strictly speaking mental properties on their contemporary nomenclature. We have this idea that the soul is the reason why we're alive, that it's the thing that causes motive force, that plants have souls and non-human animals have souls, even if those souls are sort of different. And we'll see Plato and Aristotle pick these lines of thought up and work further to develop a notion of the soul.